Springfield, Missouri, in the heart of the Ozarks. This is the region where the biggest of the big trucks was born. And into this cradle of monster truck civilization come all our rowdy friends, like Fred Schaefer's Barefoot Dodge, Carolina Crusher, Monster Patrol, Boogie Van. They're here to challenge the originator to see if they can beat Bigfoot in his backyard at his own game. This is Trucks and Tractor Power, featuring the best in MTRA monster truck racing. Today, it's the Monster Truck Thunder Drags from the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds here in Springfield, Missouri. This is stop number 6 on the Penda Points Series. We're in the Ozarks, and that means we're definitely in monster truck country. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Lee, and welcome to Trucks and Tractor Power. We are set tonight for a backyard fist fight under the lights. In fact, it was in this general area where this sport began. It was in this area where a monster truck first smashed some junk iron about a decade ago. And a guy who knows all about the history of this sport is Army Armstrong. And here's Army with more on the Missouri Connection.
Gary, you're exactly right. The state of Missouri is definitely the most per capita monster truck operations in America. It all started down the road about 10 years ago with Bob Chandler. And like you say, he just crunched some metal. It turned into a phenomenon and has gone all over the world and now crowns a world champion. Speaking of world champion, the same Bob Chandler that started it designs and owns a truck that for the last 2 years has won the world championship. And it's over my right shoulder. As a matter of fact, that truck currently leads in the Penda Points Championship for this year's world championship. But Chandler also owns a second truck, the Bigfoot Power Wheels, and the Bigfoot and the Bigfoot Power Wheels have had a slapping contest everywhere they've gone this year and literally dominated the Penda Points Series. But there is a trump card here. The trump card is not even a driver, it's not even a truck, it's a crew member. Gene Patterson, who used to work for Bob Chandler in the Bigfoot operation, has gone over to Dan Patrick's team, a Chevrolet team, in the Samson truck. And they are the only people that have been able to break the win streak by the Ford camp. Back to you, Gary.
Well, Sampson right now is 6th in the point standings as we take a look at those Penda points. Andy Brass leading Runte, Schaefer, Dabney, and Colt Cobra. Want to take you back now to qualifying to show you the fastest pass ever in monster truck competition. This is qualifying Andy Brass with a 4.93.
The previous quick was a 4.96 set by the other Bigfoot truck of Runte, but Andy Brass came out and laid the gauntlet down with a 93.
And Andy Brass would follow that up with the best time of round 1, punching out the Dodge Express of Ray Portkowski. Andy's run was a 5.15. So this, once again, a highlight from round 1 competition. Also in round 1 was Colt Cobra taking on Mark Hall in the Executioner. And watch this wild finish by Hall.
Mark Hall is one of the guys that's trying to get a luck streak going for him, and it was not to be at this event. He was all over the shutdown area.
A wild run in round 1 by Dan Patrick, who gets the front end up in the air. Talk about a white knuckle ride.
Dan, it seemed like it almost wanted to come over backwards on you. What caused that?
I shifted late into high gear in qualifying. I shifted too soon, or I'm sorry, too late in first gear. So I wanted to settle down. It wasn't going to settle down, so I just pushed a button to hit her in the high, and boy, it got up there.
Also in round 1, Pam Botters DQ. She had the red light. She was going up against Fred Schaefer in Barefoot.
Well, I'll tell you what, Pam was in the lane. It was less than ideal. Schaefer was running good. That she did what she had to do. Simple as that. If she could have cut him down on the starting line, she'd have gone into the next round. Not to be the case. But also in that round, Gary
Wiggins in the Carolina Crusher was also a DQ as he goes out of bounds.
So all of a sudden,
the
story of the night is you don't want to go on the left side of this racetrack.
And here is the crash cam looking right at you over your head. Doc, we're coming back. Stay with us. And we welcome you back to the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds here in Springfield, Missouri for the Penda Monster Truck Thunder Drags round 2 competition getting underway. Now, once again, the fast loser will come back. The fast loser of this round will come back for more action. Round 2 kicks off with a pair of Fords, the Bigfoot Ford of Andy Brass. That's the Bigfoot Cruiser, and he pulls up against Kirk Dabney's Overkill. Now, Kirk has been a quick qualifier. He's been very fast in qualifying over the past several races. but has not done all that well in competition. And earlier, Army Armstrong talked about some Texas technology with Marty Garza.
Gary, we're standing down in the pit area with Marty Garza, one-time top-rate driver. Now he's taking all his energies designing and developing trucks. He's hooked up with Kirk Dabney on the Extreme Overkill vehicle and have a whole new concept on the shock absorbers. Now, tell me what you're doing different than the other guys, because whatever it is seems to be really working, Marty.
Yes, Army. We're working closely with Custer Off-Road Shocks out of Long Beach, California. We've developed a new swing arm type suspension system. It's the first monster truck to incorporate this type of suspension.
Okay, now the shocks, I understand you can actually adjust these shocks in between rounds, so you can tweak the chassis just by working with the shock.
Yes, these shocks are fully externally adjustable, whereas most other trucks have to pull their shocks apart and do all their valving changes internally. This is all external.
Okay, the name Custer and Off-Road tells me a lot of this technology came out of the Baja-type desert racers in California. Is that where it came from?
Yes, monster trucks have evolved into basically off-road race trucks only with large tires.
Well, I tell you what, there is a common thread running through all of motorsports. A lot of technology crossing from one type of racing to another.
Well, you're exactly right there.
There's a look at Andy Brass, the Bigfoot Cruiser. Nearest the camera, the far lane, overkill, Kirk Dabney.
Remember the discussion in the pit area? Nobody wants the left lane. Brass, quick time. Dabney ran him tough for the first half. He runs him all the way out the end, Gary. Who won it?
Well, Andy Brass takes the victory. His clocking is 5:11 ET. Kirk Dabney is 5:36. And there is a look at Bigfoot going away from you.
Yeah, this is a view we haven't seen before. Look what happens in no man's land. He's still on the throttle, picking up all kind of dust, and then, of course, he's going to fly right over the top of us.
Good shot from the crush cam.
Yeah.
There is a look at Sampson. And pulling right into view is Colt Cobra. That's the Snakebite Ford. So it's Ford against Chevrolet.
That was the camera angle known as Snaggletooth when Cobra came into view there.
There's Colt, and there's Dan Patrick, who had that wild ride earlier this evening when he really uncorked the horsepower.
Boy, he was skyrocketing. And dapper-looking young man he is with his preppy glasses. But right now, the glasses are off, the helmet's on, and he's going Ford hunting.
Yeah, Snake has that face that only a mother could love.
Gene Patterson out of the driver's seat into the crew chief position. He's watching over Dan Patrick's operation. It's made him a winner one time this year. In the bad lane. Let's see if they maybe have figured something out. A lot of air. Chassis change didn't work for the Chevy. He's coming across track.
Trouble. Dan Patrick, I think, was DQ'd. Snakebite, Colt Cobra, 5:18 will advance. And Dan Patrick was in trouble right off the start.
Boy, Gene Patterson, the crew chief, he'll be optimistic about it. He'll say, well, we finished second.
Yeah, but as they say, second is the first loser.
Yeah, but Gary, when there's only two racing, the guy that wins finishes next to last, right?
You do have a way of putting a
You gotta
slant
be an
on it,
optimist
Army.
if you're gonna be in motorsports. You better be optimistic.
Coming right at you, Sampson gets in trouble right here. Veers off to the right, and he is disqualified. Let's go down trackside down here from a disappointed Dan Patrick.
Dan, you guys played every card you had. I think that I'm just going to go right back to the same thing I'm talking to everybody else about. You're on the bad side tonight.
Well, we broke an axle last night, and I'm just wondering if we're going to try it and see if that's what it was. My biggest concern when I went there was the fast loser comes back this round. And my biggest concern was if I, didn't get him because he had a faster time, I was more concerned about making a good legitimate pass in this lane, to get back fast loser. But it got squirrely on me, and, when it gets squirrely, the only thing you can do is just shut her down.
Well, being squirrely is an indication of breaking an axle.
Yeah, like, the problems we've had in the past, the truck always goes straight. When it doesn't go straight, it's usually a breakage of some kind.
Well, this should be a good matchup. Fred Schaefer, the fourth fastest qualifier here this evening in barefoot, the Dodge, against the second fast qualifier, Dan Runte, in the Ford Power Wheels Bigfoot.
And one of the big stories all year long has been Fred Schaefer not being able to get dialed in. Other side of the coin, Dan Runte running smooth as silk all year long. This kid on every pass is becoming smoother and better. Fred Schaefer been around a long time, and these young kids are drawing him in. They're playing hardball with him. They're beating up on him, and I know he doesn't like it.
Dan Runte is presently second in the Penda Points Series championship behind his teammate Andy Brass. And Fred Schaefer's been playing catch-up so far this season. It looks like Runte by a wheel.
Yeah, but I tell you what, he was airing it out on the other end. Schaefer was pulling him back.
5:26 for Runty. Now remember, the fast loser, as we told you, will come back. There's Fred Schaefer's 5:31. That's a good run.
Yeah.
We could see Fred come back.
I think that'll get him back in. Watch Runty from the end zone, if you will. Camera, it yaws on him here real quick. Watch this. See, it'll pitch and then yaw on him.
Well, he takes the victory. He'll come back for more competition. Let's go trackside and hear from Dan Runty.
Dan, it looked awful wild out there.
Yeah, it was, Army. The truck's hooking up off the line a little different than it has in the previous runs. It's a little tougher driving track now. You got to drive back that second set of cars. Ford Power Wheels Bigfoot's doing a good job, and I do hear we just dogged the Dodge.
The Thunder Drags and four-wheel jamborees are part of the Special Events Performance Series featuring a weekend of four-wheel fun. There's something for everyone. Pick up the latest in parts and accessories with a visit to the manufacturer's Midway. There's also several categories of show and shine competition. Contact the Special Events Promotion Company to find out when one of these great events will be coming to your area. Hey, there's more coming your way from Springfield, Missouri. Don't go away. Along with Army Armstrong, I'm Gary Lee. Welcome back to Springfield, Missouri. We are ready now for the semifinals as we take a look at the pairings for this round shootout. And it will be the Barefoot against the Bigfoot truck and Snakebite against Power Wheels Bigfoot. 3 Fords and the Dodge of Barefoot.
And once again, the Chevrolets are not able to flex their muscles and get past the second round of competition here. This is a story within a story. All the manufacturers involved here, you're looking at Dodge, boy, right over there. The Barefoot, Fred Schaefer, all the Dodge troops are putting their hopes with him. Meanwhile, Andy Brass and the Bigfoot team, you know, they got to represent the Blue Oval bunch. The Ford, Pendaliner's putting up the money to see who's got the best monster truck in the world.
Well, right now, Brass is leading the Penda Points Series, whereas Fred Schaefer has been playing catch-up. Now, if he could knock Brass out right here, go a long way in helping his cause.
Well, like I say, it add points to his side of the ledger, but take them away from Brass. It's going to be tough to do. I'll be real honest with you. Schaefer's in a lane that is least desirable. How you like the way I put that?
Yeah, that was very, very politically correct on your part, as Andy Brass takes the victory, and his clocking is a 5.23. Looks like the track has slowed down just a little bit, of 5.58 for Fred Schaefer. Well, it looks like it's slowed down during the course of the evening.
It has, but it's slowing down the same for everybody. So, you know, everybody's just through osmosis.
But you're right, everybody's slowing down.
Yeah, everybody's going down a tenth.
Andy Brass coming right at you from the end zone camera. Look at the altitude. Look at the air. Can you imagine what that landing feels like inside the cockpit?
I can tell you exactly. The impact is equivalent to a 30-mile-an-hour head-on collision. They've run tests on that. And the impact each driver endures when they land is equivalent to a 30-mile-an-hour head-on collision. Now, these guys do this about 6 or 7 times a night. You've got to be an athlete to drive one of these trucks. I don't care what anybody says.
So 6 times a night would be a 180-mile-an-hour collision. No.
Well,
don't even figure it out.
First time I did it, I'd learn my lesson and let you drive the truck the next time.
The Power Wheels Bigfoot against the Ford Snakebite. Cold Cobra, there's a look at Snakebite, and there's a look at Dan Runte. Runte was the second fastest qualifier this evening.
What you're looking at is a toy manufacturer's dream come true. Every little boy in America likes Bigfoot, or they like Colt Cobra with the Snakebite. So
Snakebite was the third fast qualifier, so this could be a real good matchup right here. Ford against Ford. It's Snakebite.
Yeah.
Snakebite takes him in that favorable lane. Snakebite, Colt Cobra, a 5.16. I believe that was faster than what Andy Brass just turned in Bigfoot.
That was, and Power was one of 31, but a 16 is quick.
And here is Andy Brass.
I tell you what, Andy, your championship is looking a lot better right now because you just put the Dodge out, and the Bigfoot Power Wheel just went out by Snakebite. That's got to help you with the points deal.
Yes, it does. We've been kind of watching it. It's been a tough season, and everybody's running so hard this year and so close that it's going to be anybody's game. And these guys are getting to the finals, and you're just praying that you can knock them out early. But thanks to everybody like Ford, Firestone, Built, BDS, Trailmaster, everybody that sponsors us. We got a good combination here. The truck's working good for us, and we're going to put her in the first place.
So Andy Brass will go for 2 in a row here in Springfield as he continues to lead the Penda point standings. Some maintenance going on now between rounds on the truck that will be in the championship shootout. That is the Snakebite Ford of Colt Cobra. Just some regular between round maintenance.
Yeah, I tell you what, Gary, it may look like between round maintenance, but that old boy is hammering and nailing. He's in the final. He wants to win.
And here is how he got to the final. Once again, a replay as Colt Cobra knocks out Dan Runte by that margin right there.
Who gets lane choice in the final? Do you know what the times are, Gary?
I think Colt Cobra will have lane choice, and right now let's go trackside and visit with Colt Cobra.
Colt, let me get in here real quick. You've said for a long time you can handle the Bigfoot truck. You're going to get your shot at him.
That's right. Like I said, we come out here earlier this year. Our times weren't as low as we'd like them to be. We did some changes to the truck. We came here to Springfield, done good here every year. We're really pumped up about it going into the final against Bigfoot here. We pulled lane choice on him. Like I said earlier, it means a lot. I think we have that edge, and the snake running the way it is tonight, hopefully we'll pull out a win here again.
Well, beating him's one thing, but beating him in his own home state, that's got to make you real happy.
Oh, it always does. I'll beat him anywhere, but at home it always counts a little bit more.
So lane choice for Colt Cobra. Andy Brass goes for 2 in a row, and we're coming back. Stay with us. With that beautiful light show on the Ferris wheel in the background, we welcome you back to the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds here in Springfield, Missouri. It's final time, Bigfoot and Snakebite. A matchup that's also quite popular in the toy stores. The youngsters can buy models of those two trucks. Well, the big boys like to play with their trucks as well. It's time to show you some of the action from the tough truck competition. There's Tom McHugh in his 85 Jeep getting some air there, and you can hear the approval of the crowd. Next, here's the wild man, the zebra-painted Bronco. That's Shane Ballard. He travels all over the country following the tough truck circuit. Let's take a lap around with him, and perhaps we'll see him at the Hoosier Dome this fall.
You know, Shane is a traveling pro tough truck driver, I guess. Is that white on black or black on white?
Well, watch the air that he gets, though, here on this last jump. He nails the throttle, and watch this. Oh, he almost rolls it over.
The event is when you make contact with the tire at the very end of the run.
But the run of the night goes to the man who goes for the fence, which will be Bruce Scott in his 78 Jeep. Now watch this.
Left turn, Bear. Uh-oh. Hang on. Okay. Well, I'm not through yet. Let's go.
Wait a minute. Reverse. First gear. Who pays for the fence? Listen to the crowd.
They're into it. Now, it's not over now. This guy's still on the clock, keeping on us. He'll 180 it back. Remember, it finishes when you make contact with the tire. Little jump, got the big jump. Discretion is the better part of valor, yeah.
And he just taps it. Oh, let's get over. Oh, an instant replay. Slow motion. He almost took down that telephone pole. All right, so much for the tough truck. Let's get back to racing action with the monsters. Snakebite, as we told you, will have lane choice. Colt Cobra will put Andy Brass over in the left lane where he has yet to run tonight. And prior to going to the lane, Army asked Mr. Brass about that.
We've been watching the left lane. The left lane's been coming around, you know. We looked at it earlier. They had a lump in the first lane. It was sending everybody over the first set of cars. We're not even going to worry about it. I'm just going to go over there and run my run like I would run it over here in the right lane. And I'm not going to worry about the lane change and hope we can just pull it down through there again like we did a while ago.
Well, there's a tight shot of Andy Brass, and there is the nose of Snakebite as they stage here for the championship. Crew chief looks on. His wife, a little nervous back there in the staging area.
But Andy Brass, the crew, did make a change in the truck. They made a gear change. He's out on him. Oh, half track. Something goes away.
Snakebite. Snakebite.
Boy, Mrs. Brass, a tough break. Snakebite takes a win with a 5.18, but Andy Brass was reading him the riot act until something went away at about half track.
Yeah, that was mechanical because Andy was right there until something happened, as you say, Army, half track, and Colt Cobra takes the win. So what appeared to be a good opportunity for Andy Brass to gain some ground on Dan Runte, his teammate in the point standings, went awry because of some mechanical problems.
Exactly right. Well, you know, this is racing. That's what it's all about. We're not taking anything away from the old Snakebite crew. He said he was going to drill him. He did exactly what he said he was going to do.
Looking right at you. Let's go to Victory Lane. Army with your winner.
Yeah. Well, dreams come true, partner. You got a bunch of fans here now.
That's right. Springfield's always been good to us. We came back here again tonight. Cool air came out. Truck started running faster. We ran consistent all night. This truck's definitely a winner. You saw it here tonight. We're going right to the top.
Talk about being pumped up. There's the sign of the snake, the #1 side. There's your champion. As we'll take a look now at the point standings, over a 1,000-point margin now for Andy Braston and Stan Runty, Fred Schaefer, Colt Cobra, and Paul Schaefer now in 5th position. Our congratulations to Colt Cobra. The Snake takes its first victory of the year. We hope you enjoyed today's monster truck action from Springfield. For Army Armstrong, I'm Gary Lee. We'll see you next week on Trucks and Tractor Power. Now here's news of an exciting video release from Diamond P Sports.